All right, let's jump right in. At the absolute core of decentralized finance, DeFi, there's this major tension. It's a clash between two huge ideas. One is this promise of complete, radical transparency, and the other is the fundamental human need for privacy. You could even call it the contradiction at the heart of Web3. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We're going to look at why this isn't just some techie puzzle to be solved, but a really defining challenge that is going to shape the entire future of finance. So first, let's just rewind a bit and talk about DeFi's radical promise. What was the original idea that got everyone so excited in the first place? Well, DeFi really came about as a way to fix a financial system that a lot of people felt was just broken and totally opaque. Its superpower was supposed to be transparency, right? Everything was built on public ledgers, so all the transactions are out in the open. Anyone could get access, no permission needed, and you didn't have to trust a company, you could trust the code, which could be audited by anyone. But here's where that superpower starts to look like a double-edged sword. And this is the turning point, where we really run headfirst into the privacy paradox. And this really gets to the core of it. In the mission to solve the problem of banks doing secret deals behind closed doors, DeFi kind of created a brand new problem. It made everyone's financial life totally public. It fixed secrecy for the institutions, but it completely forgot about privacy for the people. I mean, think about what this actually means. Your wallet address, which is pseudonymous, sure, but it's not truly anonymous. It basically becomes a public financial diary for the whole world to read. Anyone who has that address can track every single trade you make, watch your net worth go up and down 24/7, and see every single person or protocol you interact with. And honestly, with enough digging, it's not that hard to connect all that activity back to you, the real person. And look, this is not just some theoretical what if. This is real. Back in October 2022, when the crypto platform Celsius went bankrupt, the court filings exposed the names and the entire transaction histories of almost 500,000 users. Just like that, their private financial diaries were stapled to their real names, opening them up to all sorts of risks, like targeted theft, scams, or even physical threats. Now, a massive privacy problem like this, it doesn't go unnoticed for long. And as the stakes have gotten higher, we're seeing global regulators step into the arena, which is only escalating this whole conflict between privacy and transparency. Just take a look at this timeline. You can see a really clear pattern here, and it's speeding up. From landmark regulations like MiCA in 2023 to these initiatives with names like Going Dark and Protect EU, governments are putting enormous pressure on the crypto world to fit into their existing surveillance and monitoring frameworks. And they're not being subtle about it. A report from TechRadar pointed out that the EU Commission is actively trying to figure out decryption solutions. Why? So they can hand those tools to Europol officers by 2030. The stated goal is to literally break the encryption that's supposed to protect all of us. And it's not just a European thing. Over in the US, the Treasury Department took the pretty shocking step of sanctioning Tornado Cash, which is a popular privacy tool called a mixer. The claim was that it was used for money laundering. But this move targeted the open source code itself, and that sent absolute shockwaves through the entire developer community. So we're stuck, right? We have this massive clash. On one side, users are screaming for privacy. On the other, regulators are demanding total transparency. It feels like an impossible choice. But there's a cryptographic breakthrough that might just offer a way out of this mess. It's called a zero-knowledge proof. Zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs for short, they kind of sound like magic, but I promise you it's very real math. A ZKP lets you prove that a statement is true without revealing any of the secret information that makes it true. The classic analogy is this. It's like proving you have the key to a locked room without ever having to actually show anyone the key. You can prove a fact while keeping the secret safe. So how does this actually work in the real world? Well, a great example is something called a ZK rollup. First, a whole bunch of transactions are bundled together and processed off the main chain. Then a single tiny zero-knowledge proof is created for that entire batch. That little proof is the only thing that gets sent to the main chain.
The main chain can look at it and instantly know that all those thousands of transactions are valid, but without ever seeing any of the details. It's a huge win-win for making things faster and more private.
So, how do ZKPs stack up against other privacy tools? Well, you have things like ring signatures or mixing services, which basically work by hiding your transaction in a crowd to make it harder to trace. They provide obscurity. But ZKPs are different. They offer something really unique: verifiable privacy. It's a mathematical guarantee that a transaction is legit without anyone having to see what's inside it.
Okay, so this is the really crucial part. Just having a cool piece of technology like ZKPs isn't enough. If we really want to solve this paradox, we have to change how we think. We have to build a new philosophy right into the architecture of these systems. And that philosophy is called privacy by design.
And this is a powerful idea. As some researchers at Stanford put it, these new cryptographic tools can help us get past the false binary choice between privacy and compliance. The point is, we don't have to pick one over the other. It's possible to build systems that deliver both. And this isn't some brand new concept either. Privacy by design is actually a well-known engineering framework. The core ideas are pretty simple but powerful. Be proactive. Don't wait for a disaster. Make privacy the default setting, not something you have to hunt for in the options menu. And most importantly, build privacy into the system from day one. Don't just try to tack it on as an afterthought. And this right here shows the huge shift in thinking. The old model is all about trusting intermediaries, right? You trust your bank to hold your data and report it correctly. The new model lets us trust programmable rules instead. We can literally write compliance into the code itself, all while keeping user privacy as the default. We're moving from trusting people to trusting math. And this isn't just a theory. I mean, imagine a system that could enforce local rules without telling the whole world who you are. A system that could hold encrypted ID data that only a regulator with a proper warrant could unlock. Or one that could automatically block sanctioned wallets in real time. This is the promise of on-chain compliance. It's a system built on selective disclosure, giving regulators the legitimate access they need without forcing everyone else to give up their privacy. So, all of this, it leads us to the final and maybe the most important question in this whole conversation. The future that we're talking about isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy. It is being built right now as we speak. And the decisions being made on how to design these systems, they're not just technical choices about code. They are deeply moral choices that are going to define the future of money, of digital rights, and of our own personal freedom. So, the question we want to leave you with isn't really about technology. It's about power. As we build this entirely new financial world, who gets to set the rules? Is it the developers writing the code? Is it the regulators in government buildings? Or is it the community of users themselves? The answer to that question is still being written.